Have you ever wondered what a stroke really looks like, not in textbooks, but in real life? Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle Today, where we bring you real stories, real science, and real strategies to help you live longer, stronger, and healthier, especially as you age. If you or someone you love is over 40, this video may be one of the most important things you'll ever watch. Let me take you into 3 moments that changed lives forever, 3 stories that could happen to anyone at any time. Let's start with Jessica, 32-year-old new mom, who had just brought her baby home. It was supposed to be one of the happiest times of her life. But just 4 days after giving birth, something terrifying happened. While feeding her daughter, Jessica suddenly felt dizzy. She tried to stand up but couldn't. Her legs gave out beneath her. Then her speech began to slur. Thankfully, her husband didn't hesitate. Within 10 minutes, they were in the emergency room. Doctors immediately ordered a CT scan and gave her a powerful clot-busting medication through an IV. And just like father's speech returned, the strength in her legs came back. The dizziness disappeared. It was almost as if nothing had happened. But make no mistake, Jessica had a stroke. And her story is a reminder that strokes don't just happen to the elderly. They can happen to anyone, at any time, even to someone young, healthy, and full of life. So the question is, would you recognize the signs if it happened to someone you love? Let me tell you another story. Let me tell you about Hugo. He's 62, a hard-working attorney who spent his life helping others but never quite found the time to take care of himself. He was overweight, diabetic, and had high blood pressure. Life was stressful. The bills were piling up, and he had started taking on double shifts just to make ends meet. One night at 2 a.m., as he was hunched over his desk, a blinding headache hit him out of nowhere. It was unlike anything he'd ever felt before. Panicked, he called his sister, who happens to be a nurse, and before he could even finish the sentence, he collapsed. Hugo didn't wake up until 10 days later. He was in the ICU, coming out of a medically induced coma. He had suffered a massive stroke and required emergency brain surgery. And here's the thing, so much of this could have been prevented. How many people do you know who live like Hugo? Working non-stop, ignoring their health, pushing through the pain, but the body keeps the score. Don't let stress and neglect write your ending. Learn the signs. Take action early. Now let me tell you about Regina. She's 58, a loving grandmother who's always the life of the party. Regina had a history of irregular heart rhythms, something her doctor once told her to monitor closely. But life got busy. She felt fine. So, like many of us, she skipped her follow-ups thinking, "I'll go next month." One evening, while enjoying a family celebration, she suddenly felt a strange tingling sensation on one side of her face. Her daughter noticed that her smile was lopsided. Her mouth drooped. Alarmed, they rushed her to the hospital. But here's the twist. Halfway there, the symptoms vanished. Her face looked normal again. No more tingling. It would have been easy to turn around and assume it was nothing. Thankfully, they didn't. The doctors ran an MRI and yes, Regina had suffered a minor stroke. This is your warning. Even if symptoms go away, they can be a serious sign. A stroke doesn't always knock you down, it whispers first. Will you listen? Because the faster you act, the more of your life you can save. Have you ever looked at someone young, energetic, healthy, and thought, there's no way something serious could happen to them? That's what makes strokes so terrifying. It doesn't care how old you are. It doesn't wait until your hair turns gray. It can strike anyone at any time. That's why this video could be life-saving. Because today, we're going to uncover the early signs of a stroke, those subtle red flags that often go unnoticed until it's too late. Maybe it's for yourself. Maybe it's for your spouse, your parent, or your neighbor. But knowing what to look for can mean the difference between recovery and lifelong disability. So I urge you, stay with me until the end. What you'll learn could help you act fast, save a life, and avoid the heartbreak that comes from wishing you'd known just a little bit sooner. Strokes are silent at first, but once they speak, they scream. Let's make sure you're ready to listen. Did you know that stroke is one of the leading causes of death and disability in the world? Every 2 minutes somewhere, someone's life is turned upside down by it. And yet, most people don't see it coming. The early signs? Often subtle, easy to ignore. A little dizziness, a tingling in your arm, a strange sensation in your face. We brush it off. We tell ourselves, I'm just tired, or maybe I didn't eat enough today. But here's the truth: when it comes to stroke, time is everything. The faster you act, the greater the chance of recovery. The longer you wait, the more the brain suffers. I've seen it happen to people who seemed perfectly fine just moments before, healthy, active. Then suddenly, everything changes. So ask yourself, would you recognize a stroke if it happened to your spouse, your parent, yourself? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, because knowing the signs can save a life, maybe even your own. Let me share something that could save a life, maybe even your own. When a stroke hits, it's not just a moment, it's a race against time. Because when blood can't reach part of your brain, that area is instantly starved of oxygen. And in that moment, every single second, millions of brain cells begin to die. That's why doctors say, time is brain. The faster you act, the more of your brain and your life you can save. 20 years ago, there was little we could do. But today, medical science has changed everything. With the right treatment like clot-busting medications or advanced procedures to remove blockages, many people can walk out of the hospital with their speech, memory, and mobility fully restored. But there's a catch. You have to get help fast. So don't wait. Don't second guess. If you see the signs, call emergency services immediately. Because the difference between waiting 5 minutes and 20 could mean the difference between full recovery and lifelong disability. You have the power to act. Time is brain. Use it wisely. Have you ever felt a sudden wave of dizziness, like the ground beneath you just shifted? Or maybe one side of your face or arm suddenly felt numb or weak? Most of us would brush it off. I probably just need to rest. But sometimes, those small signs are your brain crying for help. Stroke doesn't always start with drama. Sometimes it begins quietly with a sharp headache that hits like thunder, or a strange slurring of your words when you were speaking just fine a moment ago. Suddenly, you can't understand what others are saying. Or worse, you try to speak and nothing comes out right. You might lose vision in one or both eyes. You could even faint or feel confused, like you're not really present in your own body. These are not random. These are red flags. I've seen it happen in my own family, a loved one ignoring the signs, thinking it would pass. It didn't. The cost of waiting was too high. So please, if something feels off, don't wait. Get help. Time is brain. Seconds matter. There's one tool that could help you save a life, and it all starts with 6 simple letters. BEFAST. Let's break it down together. B is for balance. Has someone suddenly lost their balance or coordination? They may stumble or sway for no reason. E is for eyes. Are they seeing double? Is their vision blurry or completely gone in one eye? Sudden changes in eyesight are a big red flag. F is for face. Ask them to smile. Does one side droop or look uneven? A is for arms. Can they lift both arms? Or does one arm drift downward or feel weak? S is for speech. Listen closely. Is their speech slurred? Are they struggling to find the right words or understand what you're saying? And finally, T is for time. If you see any of these signs, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. Because in a stroke, every second counts. The faster you act, the better the chances for recovery. Be fast. Save a life. Maybe even your own. Let's talk about something most people don't realize or not. All strokes are the same. In fact, there are three main types, and knowing the difference could help you spot the warning signs before it's too late. The most common is called an ischemic stroke. Makes up nearly 85% of all cases. It happens when a blood vessel in the brain gets blocked, cutting off oxygen. It's like a traffic jam in your brain, and every second that blockage remains, brain cells start to die. Then there's the hemorrhagic stroke, which is more dangerous. This one happens when a blood vessel actually bursts, often due to an aneurysm. Imagine a balloon that's been overinflated eventually. It pops. When that happens in the brain, the bleeding causes massive pressure and damage. And then there's something sneaky, the TIA, or mini stroke. The blockage is temporary. It clears up, and you feel fine afterward. But don't ignore it. It's your brain's red alert that a major stroke could be just around the corner. Which one do you need to worry about? All of them. Because when it comes to stroke, any warning is a call to act fast. You want to know the number one cause of stroke? It's not something mysterious, it's high blood pressure. And the worst part? Most people don't even know they have it, or they ignore it until it's too late. Think of it this way. Your blood vessels are like garden hoses. If the pressure inside gets too high, over time, those hoses weaken, bulge, or even burst. That's what can happen in your brain, and when it does, the damage can be devastating. But high blood pressure isn't the only risk. Do you smoke? That narrows your arteries and speeds up clot formation. Have atrial fibrillation, AFib, or other heart problems? They can send clots straight to the brain. Diabetes, high cholesterol, being overweight, rarely exercising, or having a family history of stroke, they all add up. I've seen it in my own family. Someone you love, seemingly fine one day, unable to speak the next. So I'll ask you, when was the last time you checked your blood pressure? Because knowing these risks and doing something about them could save your life. When we think of stroke, most of us picture someone older, maybe in their 70s or 80s. But here's the truth that no one's talking about. Strokes are happening more and more in people under 50, even in their 30s and 40s. Why is that? The answer is both simple and alarming. The risk factors that used to affect older adults, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, are now common in younger people. Think about your daily routine. Long hours at a desk, fast food on the go, stress that never seems to let up. These habits add up, and so does the risk. And here's the heartbreaking part. When a stroke hits someone young, the impact is often devastating. Careers are cut short. Families are shaken. Independence is lost sometimes overnight. So ask yourself, are you taking care of the only body you'll ever have? Because prevention isn't about fear, it's about freedom. The freedom to live, work, and love without interruption. Let's not wait for a warning sign. Let's act now. If you've ever watched a loved one suffer from a stroke or even heard the stories, you know how fast life can change. One moment, everything is fine. The next, they're struggling to speak, to walk, or even to remember your name. But here's the good news. Stroke is often preventable. It starts with controlling your blood pressure and blood sugar. These two silent forces do more damage to the brain than most people realize. So, if you haven't checked yours lately, now's the time. Quit smoking, yes, even if you've been doing it for decades. Your brain and heart will thank you within days. And don't underestimate the power of movement. Even a 20-minute walk each day can make a difference. Fuel your body with foods that heal. Leafy greens, bright-colored fruits, whole grains. Skip the processed stuff. Think of every meal as a choice to protect your future. And don't skip those checkups. Early detection saves lives. So let me ask you, what small change can you start today to protect your brain tomorrow? Before we wrap up, let me ask you something important. If this video helped you understand stroke even a little better, would you be willing to help someone else do the same? Because the truth is, stroke doesn't give warnings. It doesn't care who you are or how busy life gets. But knowing the signs and acting quickly can truly mean the difference between recovery and lifelong disability, or even life and death. So please, share this video with your loved ones, your spouse, your siblings, your friends, your church group. You never know who might need this information tomorrow. And if you want to take the next step in protecting yourself, I've made it easy for you. We have full videos on how to control blood pressure, manage diabetes, and understand atrial fibrillation, the hidden heart rhythm that silently increases stroke risk. Don't forget to subscribe to Healthy Lifestyle Today, where we bring you clear, science-backed, and compassionate health advice made especially for you. Your health is your power. Let's protect it together.